So in the videos that we're going to be reacting to today, this is a man who exposed the Passport Bros movement by using statistics and studies to disprove their talking points and narratives. So let's hear what he has to say.
Hey, good evening, good Wednesday evening. Okay, so here's the thing. I tried to stay away from the whole Passport Boys thing, but the more content I came across, the more inclined I felt to respond. Let me just say this before I get started. The name that they chose is so fitting. Passport Boys, the operative word there being boys. There's a reason they didn't call themselves Passport Men, because they don't act like men, they act like boys. So let me give you a little background on these guys. So in their attempt to disenfranchise black women, and their attempt to hurt black women, they make this huge announcement that they have opted to leave the United States and seek their male dominance, in third world countries for women who pretty much, as long as you have a pulse, okay, they'll get with you.
When a lot of these Passport Bros travel overseas, they trick off on women, aka paying to sleep with them. And of course, they gravitate more towards the destitute women who are looking for a come up and who are in a poor situation. So when these women inevitably sleep with these Passport Bros for money, they will then get on social media to brag and to boast about how great these women are, yet they fail to mention that they're tricking off on them and paying them for sex.
Okay, I want to show you a video also that I have from their site, okay, from their TikTok page, okay. I didn't make these up. This is what they did, okay. And when you look at this video, you tell me what comes to mind. It doesn't look like they're looking for love. It looks like they're looking for call girls in other countries, right? Because black women done said, they listen, you got to come to the table with more than just some D, okay? You got to come to the table with more than just some D, because the D don't pay the bills, okay? D doesn't fix the credit, all right? D doesn't build long, retirements. No. So you got to come to the table with a little more than that.
These Passport Bros are very juvenile in their thinking. The rhetoric and talking points that these Passport Bros are promoting on social media, you would expect that from a high school age boy or even a college age. You wouldn't expect it from a grown man in his 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s on up. So of course these men have a lot of growing up to do in their mentality, because there's way more to life than going overseas and engaging in sex tourism.
And so it is very, very laughable too, because I look at these boys, as they call themselves, as whiny little brats. All right, so enough delay, enough talking. Let's go ahead and take a look at the video, and you tell me what you think based off of this video, okay?
Yes, princess.
Come play with me.
Have you been a good girl today?
Yes, Daddy.
Are you telling the truth?
Yeah, so what do you want to come home to at night? Them Passport Boys, right? Doesn't look like they're looking for love to me, y'all. Looks like they want to date foreign so they can get some foreign, I ain't gonna say it because I'm not trying to get in trouble with TikTok, but these look like very young. Hey, right there, 19-year-old virgin. Again, that's what they put on there. I didn't put that there, right? Here's a streetwalker. Not only she's literally walking in a dirt road. So you mean to tell me boys, let's make sure I get this right. You would much rather give up the beauty of a black woman to go to a third world country overseas, all right, for what looks like to me, okay, sex. It doesn't look like you're looking for love.
A lot of these men have an inability to actually get women, hence why they feel like they have to travel overseas to trick off on women, oftentimes very young women, even sometimes girls.
Hey, good Thursday evening. Listen, I'm back with another video. Yes, I'm talking about those passport boys. Yes, 3 of them did respond, but of course none of them responded like men. None of them accepted my invitation to go live. Instead, they responded like I thought they would, like boys, throwing stones and then running, pretty much resorting to name calling. This is the main guy right here. This is when you talk about the passport boys, I think he is their spokesperson, right? But I'm going to go through these couple of these videos. The biggest video I'm going to show you is a video that I got from their TikTok page, which is the city of Pattaya, the Pattaya city in Thailand, about 62 miles southeast of Bangkok. That's going to be the main video because, again, this came from them. This is where they say they're going. But also, I have a video of 3 stitches that this guy here sent me. That was his response. And what he tried to say in these videos is that the behavior of the women in these videos are representative of Black women collectively, which is absolutely crazy. All right, and my response to him was, you sound like white mainstream media when you take a soundbite and you give it its own context, its own narrative, and you apply it across the board.
That's a very valid point he just brought up, because Passport Bros are emulating the generalizing tactics that bigoted white people use against our people. A lot of these Passport Bros love to ignorantly generalize all Black women based on the actions or the words of a few. A few doesn't account for the majority. But instead of thinking logically, these self-hating Passport Bros would rather spew hatred towards Black women. And a lot of their hatred derives from their mother or even a past relationship. These men have years worth of trauma that they choose not to get resolved through therapy. They're going through life with all this hurt and anger and hatred towards their own race of women for very superficial reasons. Instead of hating your entire race of women based on what your mother may have said or did to you, or based on what a previous girlfriend or wife may have said or did to you, seek therapy to resolve any hurt or trauma that you harbor instead of having hatred towards your entire race of women. No other group of men does that. You don't see white men, Asian men, etc. getting on YouTube and spewing hatred about their entire group of women based on what a few of them may have done to them. Yet with these Passport Bros, as well as other movements within the Black manosphere, such as SYSBM, they feel like they need to attack Black women and spew hatred towards Black women on social media.
All right, so let's take a look at the video. Here's a little girl. Mom's in the background. Mom's just getting it, okay? Our sister's dancing next to her. She's going to pop onto the screen in a second. There she is. All right, so here's the other video coming up of the girls on vacation, taking a picture with a bunch of white guys. They're probably turning up, having a good time. Just took a picture. He's clearly in his feelings, feeling rejected. And of course, here's a young lady in Chicago twerking on the top of a car. Now, I will say this. Is there behavior within the Black community, both from men and women, that are questionable? Yes. Is there behavior in the Asian community for men and women that's questionable? Yes. Is the behavior in the Asian, Latino? Yes. My point is, nobody's perfect. If we look, we will find it, okay? It's just that simple. But what I don't see is those other cultures of men degrading their women, okay? Plain and simple. But here's the other part. I'm gonna play a video for you really quickly of some white girls, yes, at a dance studio, learning how to twerk. Yeah. Hell, even the dog was like, what in the boneyard is going on here? All right, but my point is, my friend, you right there, yes, you, Mr. Passport. Here we have white women who are learning how to twerk. What say you with regards to that behavior? Interesting. All right, so here's the last video. This is the video of the of what I got from their TikTok page. And if you all remember the video that I posted yesterday where they were kind of bragging about the beautiful women, which looked like they were about 16 to 17. Yeah. All right, young women in this video. So let me tell you right now, I'm also going to give you some stats on STDs in this city. All right, so let's take a look really quickly. And, it just confirms, my belief on why they're going. Let's take a look. All right, so as you can see, it's Pattaya, Thailand. And there he is once again with his passport, of course. And look at these girls, all right? And this is what he wrote, Pattaya girls, October 2022. Though this is recent. They look relatively young. They look like streetwalkers, and they're looking for men with money. Yes, men with money. Look at her. And here's the thing. You mean to tell me you would leave black women for this? STD cases, the average age 15 to 24. Yes. And of the 50,000 women that make up half of that population, 8,000 have STDs. And of those STDs, we're talking about chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, hepatitis A, B, and C, HIV, human papillomavirus, HPV, and herpes simplex, HSV. Yeah. And here's the thing. Their whole thing was they're fed up with black women. But nothing about these girls speak to being progressive, to being educated. No.
One of Passport Bro's main motivation for chasing women overseas is to get women who don't expect anything from them except money. These juvenile-minded men don't want to provide anything to the table. These men just want to trick off and get their pleasure met. These men have a very big fear of self-accountability.
So here's the thing. You guys are, number one, you're hypocrites. Number two, you're in desperate need of sex, clearly. Okay, so you're probably going to take your little Cialis and your blue tabs and go on over to Thailand and, spend your money. I mean, I guess you'll probably stay there until your money runs out or you catch an STD, whichever comes first. I would probably argue that the STD is going to come first because you clearly aren't going over there for love nor for a relationship. You're going over there for relations, but that's about it. And again, one of the things that I gathered from your response, and of course, looking at this video that you posted, you guys are truly suffering from an inferiority complex. You're highly insecure and you're unable to handle rejection. What other reason would it be to degrade black women, to discredit black women, or at least try to discredit? You can't do that. And spend your money, your coin. I'm not in your pocket. You can spend your money wherever you want to go. Like I said, you can get on a spaceship with Jeff Bezos and go. My thing is just go and stop degrading black women. It's just that simple, man. It's just that simple. Again, I'll leave the invitation open to you guys if you want to join me in a one-on-one, but I certainly, feel as though you lack the capacity, the mental capacity, to really engage me on that level, just based on your responses to me in this little form right here. Okay. Once again, we have the Passport Boys, and their rhetoric and, and I try not to give them any energy, but it's so pathetically sad that you cannot not address it. All right, so I'm gonna show you a video that I call him their ringleader. He posted about a Filipino girl, and she's speaking to black women like it's some great loss if they leave and go get a Filipino woman. All right, let's take a look at this first comment. Hilarious. So he says to me, this isn't a passport boy thing. It's a migration away from black women. Then he says, that black women are destroying our race. Wow, really? All right, so if you had to ask me who's destroying our race, systemic racism, let's see, white control of the media, there are a lot of tangibles that can be attributed to the destruction of black race. And if you had to put a gender on it, I would argue that men probably do more to destroy the race than women. Think about it. Rap music, the only genre of music that degrades its culture. Country music doesn't do it, rock music doesn't do it, blues doesn't do it, R&B doesn't do it. Rap music, and predominantly who are the rap artists? Men. All right, so that's just one small example of how your rhetoric makes no sense at all.
The passport bro who left that particular comment on this man's video has extreme self-hatred issues, along with any other black man who agrees with those sentiments. Blaming women, or more specifically in this context, black women, for all your problems accomplishes nothing. And just like I said a few minutes ago, any black man, whether he aligns himself with the Passport Bros movement, SYSBM, etc., who harbors hatred towards black women needs to go seek therapy, because that hatred derives from your mother or a previous relationship.
All right, so now let's take a look at this video of a Filipino girl who's pretty much trying to, throw it in a black woman's face and saying you're missing out on something. Let's take a look.
So a lot of black women DM me and told me to stop talking about black men. They were like, leave our black men alone, they're ours. No one is interested marrying about Filipina. Well, the good news is I'm not here to listen to them, because the good news is a lot of Filipina are interested of marrying black men. That's right. So listen to me, Filipina ladies, okay? Black men are super interested marrying Filipina women, especially when you are a big Filipina. That's right. So, if you're a big girl in the Philippines and think that no one wants to marry you, or you think that no one is attractive to you, don't worry, my friend, because black men or chocolate men love big girls. Why is that? Because big girls don't cry. And as far as I know, good black men have a reputation of being romantic.
Oh, what's chocolate men? Is that supposed to be chocolate men? Again, if you listen to them, those passport boys, and you look at the women that they display, it's about sex. Plain and simple. And if you all go back and look at my other videos, and I use their own footage, the footage that they post, they're not looking for love. They just can't get no ass in the States, right? Their game is weak. Maybe they lack the performance. And looking at dude, dude, listen, do us a favor. Go ahead and just go. Stop making the announcement. But since you want to go to the Philippines so badly, let me share some stats about those same Filipino women that are looking for black men. And let me say this before I show you this video. It's these stats. The Philippines is really impoverished. They're looking for money. They just know that there are some black men who are gullible enough to give it to them just for the experience. And I think that just might be you guys.
Passport Bro's biggest desire is to obtain cheap and easy sex, and they're willing to go to any country to get it, no matter how impoverished the particular country is, no matter how dangerous the particular country is. They're willing to risk it all in order to get some play. And I don't use the term pathetic too often, but that term perfectly describes these passport bros.
So let's take a look at these stats. Filipino women suffer the same domestic violence and economic disadvantages all over the country. Women in some parts are affected just like every place else. Then we're talking about the poverty rate. 19.99 million individuals, 18.1% of them live below the poverty rate. All right, 17 million poor. Now let's talk about the STDs. All right, from ages 15 to 49, the numbers are astounding. 127 million new cases. All right, so there you have the numbers. Take a look at them. So listen, man, y'all go ahead. Make sure that you have your health insurance, because clearly you're going to need it. And enjoy your time over there. You know, and here's a pathetic thing. You guys have got to travel overseas to get sex. How pathetic. You can almost get sex before you get something to eat, but you've got to go, you've got to go out of the country. You've got to go overseas to get someone to have sex with you, because that's clearly what you want, just based off of your post.
There's over 170 million women in the United States. There's plenty of women, even in your particular hometown, who are just giving it up. If you can't even get sex from women who are passing it out like hotcakes, then something's wrong. You know, these Passport Bros need to go ahead and rewatch some of their Godfather Kevin Samuels old videos to help them get some sex, because they're in desperate need of it.
Every one that I posted from you all, every one, I use footage from your post, and every one of them gives the impression, or not even impression, you make it very, very clear that you're going overseas, not because you're fed up with black women. No, you're going overseas because black women here don't want to deal with you for whatever reason. And when you post stuff like this, it's very clear why they don't want to deal with you. Hilarious. Y'all go ahead and get your passport, get your Kevin Samuel shrine, and keep it pushing. I told y'all before, I'm open to a one-on-one where we could discuss this, so I can really just drag you publicly. All right, because nothing that you say, all of your rhetoric makes absolutely no sense. Your actions are childish, they're infantile, and they're like a whiny little kid. So y'all go ahead and go. Y'all be safe. Not. Hey, what's happening? What's happening? Good evening. Good evening. Listen, I'm gonna play a video for you all. Once again, another black man trying to discredit the success, the independence, the strength of black women. And here's the thing, not on my watch. So let me give you the gist of what he's saying. He took a stitch from someone else. And what he's saying is that black women's independence, and let me just say this too, he didn't put it this eloquently, okay, just FYI. But what he's saying is black women, their independence is dependent upon welfare and housing, and that black women vote Democrat because Democrat supports welfare and housing, and that if you take away welfare and housing, you will no longer have independent women. Makes no sense. He goes on to also say that it is because of welfare and this claim of independence via welfare, this is per him, that is why women control black men.
What's quite hypocritical is that these self-hating black men will never condemn other races of women for the same things that they condemn black women for. Example, white women account for the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action. They benefit the most from affirmative action statistically. Yet these Passport Bros, SYSBM, self-hating black men will never condemn white women. They'll also never condemn white people as a whole for them accounting for the biggest proportion of welfare recipients in the US. These black men will never have any capability to condemn other races of people because of their self-hatred that they harbor.
All right, I'm gonna play the video for you now, but let me give you a word of warning. If terrible reading hurts your ears, just know that you've been warned, okay? Let's take a look.
He said black women only vote Democrat because it benefits them. That's how they control and have more power over black men with the help of the Democrats, which is true. If you get rid of housing and get rid of welfare and food stamps, it won't be no, hey, I'm independent, I don't need a man. All that shit will go out the window ASAP.
Okay, first of all, my friend, nothing that you said has any merit. You had no statistical data to support anything that you said, number one. All right, number two, no one can control you unless you allow them to. And then number three, I'm going to need you to control those glasses or whatever the things on your face, okay? I'm going to need you to control that. And then number four, I'm going to need for the Passport Boys to come get your mans, all right? Come get your guy, all right? Make sure he has a passport. Make sure he's on the plane with y'all because he clearly is in a state of anger and bitterness, okay? But I'm going to share some stats with you that contradict everything that this man said. All right, so let's take a look at the first stat. In 2019, 36.5% of welfare recipients were white, compared to 25.8% being black. Okay? For the people in the upper deck, more white people collect welfare than black people. All right? According to statistics. All right? Let me give you another stat. Of the 65 million Americans who receive welfare, 46.7 million are retired workers. Retired workers. All right? Retired workers. Yeah. Not black women. All right? And let me give you one more stat. Retired workers and dependents account for 75.2% of the benefits paid in 2020. Over 75% of welfare recipients, benefit recipients in 2020, okay, were retired workers. So you see, my friend, it's not a matter of black women being dependent upon housing and welfare. And just like white people, yes, there are some black people, black women who receive welfare. But here's the thing, for you to spew this rhetoric with no supporting data, suggesting that it is because of a voting Democrat who you claim supports welfare and housing, and because of this, that's why black women are independent, and that's why they have power over black men. Dude, everything you said, if you go back and just say it to yourself 10 times, I'm sure you might find that it makes no sense. But let me give you this closing shot just for you, my friend. These are college graduate black women. That's right, black women. And here's the thing about it. A new study shows that black women are among the most educated group in the United States. That doesn't sound like welfare recipients to me. No, what it sounds like to me, my friend, is that you're very bitter and that you never stepped up your game. And if you were walking around with those glasses on, I understand why nobody really wanted to deal with you. And as far as power, again, people can only do as much as you allow. Okay, so if women have power over you, it's because you are powerless. And you are powerless because you're not on your grind. So here's the thing, black women are independent because they're on their grind, just seeking higher education, and they're not waiting around for dudes like you.
A lot of these passport bros are threatened by black women who are accomplished. Hence why they have a lot of hatred and animosity towards black women who are educated, black women who own their own business, etc. Because they feel threatened by a black woman who has accomplished more than them. But of course, instead of getting on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and other social media apps to spew animosity, jealousy, and hatred towards your own women, get on your grind. I mean, listen, no wonder why these women don't want to date these particular men, because, I mean, they're exhibiting the reason on their own social media pages. They're acting dusty. They're acting threatened by an accomplished woman. You know, they're spewing nonstop emotionalism and hatred and bitterness and jealousy. those are traits that no woman is attracted to. Grow up with this juvenile type of mentality that a lot of these passport bros have.
To show up with glasses like that. So again, listen, passport boys, get your man, make sure he has a passport, and get him on that plane with y'all, okay? The bitter crew. So black women, keep doing what you're doing. Keep progressing. Keep driving. Keep grinding. There's nothing wrong with it, all right? Every chance I get when I see a black man trying to drag a black woman, I'm going to speak out on it. Hey, happy Friday. All right, so listen, I knew this day was going to come at some point. And I'm referring to the idolizers of the Queen herself, Her Majesty, Kevin Samuels, and the Passport Boys. All right, I've gotten some some replies back, and here's the problem. Let me just say this. I'm perfectly fine if you disagree with me, and you know, discourse on every level is good. Okay, I have an academia background. I am a researcher. Okay, so I am always open and receptive to discourse that revolves around data, statistics, factual information. Okay, I say that to say, disagree with me all you want, but when you reply, please reply void of your emotion, and please substitute that with data, with statistics, okay, with logic, okay, void of emotion, right? Because at the end of the day, nobody agrees 100% of the time, and that's okay. But the most wonderful thing about discourse is being able to formulate and defend your argument with something substantial. Okay, which you all clearly have not done yet. Okay, every reply that I've gotten from you all has been clearly based off of emotion.
And to piggyback off that point he just made, that emotionalism that these passport bros spew is prevalent even on my page. Go through all of my videos and scroll through the comments, and there's going to be a slew of emotional and bitter passport bros in the comments, speaking like a bunch of children, whining and complaining and throwing temper tantrums because somebody has a differing opinion than them. You know, these particular men go all over social media and just emotionally attack anybody who disagrees with them.
So do me a favor. I don't mind if you come for me, but when you come for me, be prepared, because failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And right now, y'all batting 1,000 on the fail side. And I told you before, I have no problem with even doing a one-on-one live where we can discuss topics like this, black man, black woman topics. I have no problem with it. All right, but I'm not going to engage in cyber banter with a bunch of emotionally charged men who have nothing credible to stand on to support their ideas or their beliefs. All right, so when you're ready, please come. But absent that, just stay where you are. All right, for the rest of you, you have a great weekend, and stay positive.
So that's the end of the video. This was one of the most comprehensive debunks of the Passport Bros movement. Shout out to this brother on TikTok for collecting all of this information. This Passport Bros movement is riddled with hypocrisy and sexual exploitation of women overseas. And as this movement gets bigger, more and more backlash is going to come against these men. And of course, that's already begun to happen, because if you're not familiar with this story, a passport bro by the name of Austin Holloman got ran out of Brazil because he was promoting sexual exploitation of the local women in Brazil. And Brazilians, both male and female, got together and publicly called him out to the point that he left the country and then went to Thailand. It got so much heat and attention that it got to the point of local politicians and local celebrities calling him out. So soon enough, these other countries, whether it be Colombia, whether it be Thailand, Philippines, etc., they're going to start calling out these passport bros and calling out their sexually exploitative behavior. And of course, sex tourists of other groups have already been called out, but this passport bros movement is relatively new. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. A lot more content is going to get posted on the channel, so just stay tuned. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned to the channel.